This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to your conference, Texas Council of Teachers of English Language Learning Arts 2022. My name is Dr. Sakina Nassiri, and my doctoral degree is in language literacy and special population. My today's topic is literature circle in a digital world, and I would like actually to talk about definition of literature circle very briefly, and I would like to talk about some of the advantages of literature circle, and mainly I will discuss about how to adapt literature circle in online teaching. And I will introduce some web-based tools for common roles that we need in literature circle. In this presentation, I would like to share with you some of my experiences regarding applying literature circle in online tool, actually in online setting. Okay, as we all know, Literature Circle was introduced by Harvey Daniel, and Literature Circle is equivalent for a book club, but it is more structured, it has more expectations and rigor. And the goal of Literature Circle, which is a small group discussion for young learners, is to allow them to practice and develop reading comprehension skills. And our ultimate goal is to actually to help them to become lifelong reader and learner. We want them, we want to encourage them to have thoughtful discussions during their small group literature circle. Most of the prominent scholars of reading and literacy do believe that literature circle encourage cooperative learning. It has several advantages for both language learners and mainstream students or native English speakers students. It is a student center, and students have choice over their learning. They can select the book or the type of book that they would like to work on. Literature circle provide opportunities for students to improve their reading comprehension, and not only reading comprehension, there are several research studies that shows literature circle help students to develop their vocabulary level, speaking, and also writing and listening for emergent bilinguals, because at the same time they are going to listen to each other. They are going to, sometimes they have to write a paragraph, depends on the teacher expectation and how they are committed. Through time and having in literature circle, students will become more confident, engaged, and accountable through their discussions and reading different topics or books or articles. And it's a time that the students feel belonging, and they work with their peers. They feel that they are part of the classroom community. Okay, in this section, I would like to, share with you some of my experiences applying literature circle in online setting. While we want to use literature circle in online setting, we have to, I think it's better to modify literature circle in different ways based on your students' needs and the classroom or the expectation or the curriculum. So For example, in a traditional form of literature circle, we all know that the students will be divided into different groups, and each group has one book, or they have different books. So, but in online literature circle, I personally let my students to choose one book for all the groups, so all of them have one book, and I mainly focus on modeling. I model for them how to apply literature circle, how to have it in online setting, how to work on common roles that I'm going to explain very soon. I will actually demonstrate how to use common roles in web-based, in different web-based, format. So because it might be challenging for some of our language learners to use different application while they're working on their discussions. So it's better for the first 1 or 2 cycles to focus on one book. So students, by this way, students can help each other through their understanding, and at the same time learn how to apply literature circle, learn how to have a better discussion rather than focusing on different books. And so this is one of the modifications that I try to apply. And the second one is the second important things regarding online literature circle is modeling. According to Bandura, modeling is a great part of teaching. Modeling, modeling, modeling. So as a teacher, we are responsible to help our students to show, to demonstrate several times, not just 1 or 2, how to apply literature circle, how to work on common roles, because it is not clear for some of our emergent bilinguals. So it's important to be mindful of that. Some of the common roles that I talked about a few minutes ago is summarizers, vocabulary enricher, connector, questioner, illuminator. There might be some other roles, but these are some of the traditional ones that introduced by Harvey Daniels. So at this point, I would like to share with you some common web-based tools that we can apply, to work on each of these common roles. Okay, first let's start with explanation about breakout rooms and Zoom. I personally, apply Zoom or breakout rooms in Teams to work on literature circle as a setting. Yes, breakout rooms provide opportunity for teachers to divide the students into different rooms, to move them from main room and divide them into different rooms, so they can have discussion in a small group or even pair work. And the teacher have the option to move from different rooms and check on the students, check on their progress, their discussion, or provide some clarification or instruction. So, and at the end, whenever it's necessary, the teacher can let the students join the main room. So it is helpful for communication, and students can participate with each other in a small setting, or in a small rooms, and increase the interaction. So breakout rooms is one of the best options that I experienced in literature circle. Yes, the first common role that I would like to talk about in online setting is vocabulary wizard or vocabulary enricher. The person who is responsible to work on vocabulary wizard needs to find different vocabulary words or list of vocabulary words that they have in a passage, and also the page number, definition, synonym, antonym, or if with a clue of how they get to the meaning, usually in face-to-face classes. In online setting, one of the you know, things that I apply. One of the tools that I apply in online setting is Quizlet and quizzes. Yes, quizzes is a web-based tool that helps students to retain the information. It is very helpful because it helps the students to prepare some flashcards. It's free. As a teacher, you can, you know, set up a classroom. The students can prepare some flashcards. They can work on some matching the definition and vocabulary words, or even the vocabulary words and the picture. They can have some fill in the blanks practice. Additionally, they can work on different, you know, vocabulary words. It helps them to progress and retain the, you know, the new vocabulary words through the time. It's so fun. And also quizzes. It is another, you know, tools, online tools that that provide the opportunity for teachers to have online quiz, online game, and it's a great competition. I provided the link if you like. You can check, you can click on them and check how they work. The next common role is illustrator. The person who is responsible for to be illustrator usually illustrate a picture based on the story or the passage that they have. So the common tool, online tool that I personally use is Google Jamboard or Canva. I personally like Canva because it's a free graphic design platform that can, you know, help students to easily create or co-create kind of different posters, flyers, some information, and yes, they can share it easily in different ways. They can email each other, or even they can save it as PDF. They can send it to the teachers. So yes, this is an example of one of my students used Canva to, you know, as an illustrator. A few weeks ago, we were working on Rosa Parks, the biography of Rosa Parks. So one of my students created Canva about Rosa Parks' early life, about her early activism. As you can see here, you know, as I mentioned earlier in description, students have the opportunity to improve their reading comprehension. They practiced writing, they created a short explanation, and also they have the pictures and some graphic design, which is so fun for them because at the same time they are going to explain it to their friends. So it's a kind of a speaking practice for emergent bilinguals. So we can see at the same time they practice on different language skills, not just reading. Okay, the next common role is connector. We know that connector is a role that a person is responsible to make connection between the book that they have read and their own personal life, or the life of the, you know, other people that they might have known, other books that they have read, or even the movie, TV program or the movie that they have watched. So they are going to make a connection. The web-based tool that I would like to introduce is Bubble Us. Bubble Us allows students to create mind maps, allows the students to create mind maps in a web-based tool for free. The great part is free. Even students do not have to sign in. So, and also it provides opportunity for students to co-create mind maps, so they can work together and save it and also send it to the teacher. So this is one of the example of one of the example that one of my students created, they made connection between two different stories. And also I use Bubble Us for vocabulary learning. I ask my students to choose several vocabulary words and make connection based on the meaning, make connection between those vocabulary words, like having a spider web, the connection between the vocabulary words in different way. So this is another practice to retain and progress vocabulary learning. So yes, the next common rules is questionnaire. Questionnaire is a person who is responsible to create different open-ended and thoughtful question based on the reading that they had. My students usually, create question and put it in different blogs, and students have to, other friends have to answer. Or sometimes, we use Flipgrid. Flipgrid is actually is another web-based tool which is free and very convenient for both teachers and students. Again, as a teacher, we are going to create a classroom in Flipgrid, and everything presented in organized grid. Students can sign in based on the code that you provide. So they will be, they can record themselves and answer the questions or give a lecture. And provide different answers to the questionnaire. The positive part is students can create comments to each other, so they can hear each other and they can, put different notes and comments, which is really helpful. It motivates the students to speak. Most of my emergent bilinguals love it, both young learners or even high school students, high school language learners really like to work with Flipgrid because it's kind of fun. They can take a picture. Even those students who do not like to, record themselves, they can just record the audio. I hope you find it helpful. And also, I just want to mention something else. It's a good part that the students can compare each other in a positive way. They can hear each different viewpoints and they can compare. So it's a positive competition kind of. Now, the next common role, which is one of the important one, is summarizer. The summarizer is a person usually summarize the story based on the way that the teacher teach them such as beginning, middle, end, or answering the WH question. Based on online class, we have different tools that the students can apply to summarize the story. Yes, one of the way that I ask my students is a time toast. Time toast is a great timeline maker for students to share past, present, future, or to share different dates, to show the process, steps, or even the project that they need to do. So as you can see in this picture, again, back to the story of Rosa Parks, one of my students created a summary based on time toast. While using the time toast, it has different times and some short explanation. So they share it. The time toast provide the opportunity for students to share it with each other. They can work on it again and save it and share it in breakout rooms. When the students click on each of these dates or explanation, they can have a more description, and they are going to make a summary based on their own notes. Also, Yes, also students in TimeToast, you can, sorry for the picture if it's not clear, based on TimeToast, the students have the opportunity to upload different pictures, pictures, dates, which helps it, help to be more understandable for emerging bilinguals when they hear, they read, and they have the visual. Yes, the next web-based tools that we use for a summarizer is a newspaper clipping generator. The newspaper clipping generator, I provided the link, and this link is really helpful for you. If you need to log in. Yes, as you can see in a picture, students can first they can write a short summary, and then in this website, in this web-based tool, students can create their own title of the newspaper. For example, my students, I think she chose Houston Times, then the date, and then also the title of the article of the newspaper. For example, here again, Rosa Parks. So my students created short summary, and then they uploaded in that particular magazine that they chose. So and then they share it in breakout rooms or Zoom, which is so fun. Students can share their ideas, and then they talk about what they wrote in the magazine, like journalists. So again, they are going to practice writing and also talk about what they have wrote as a journalist. Yes, the next web-based tool that I would like to share with you is ChatterPix. ChatterPix can be used as a summarizer. It can, the questioner, the person who is a questioner can apply ChatterPix. Students can use ChatterPix to give a voice to their picture and bring them to life. Even reluctant speaker or those emergent bilinguals who are very shy, they like to apply ChatterPix. Then they can create the audio and convey the message. For example, if you have any particular character, you can save their picture. You can save their picture, and your students can talk and record themselves, to show the biography, to show what they have learned. So I know some of our colleagues apply ChatterPix even for social studies, even for science class. For example, about life cycle. Students can, practice, learn, and share their learning through ChatterPix and with visual to other students. So it's kind of, fun for students and really interesting. Yes, here at this point, I would like to, share with you some follow-up activities that might be helpful for Literature Circle. The first one is interview with the author or character. One of the students can be interviewer, the other one can be the author of the story or the one of the character of the story. So the web-based tool that you can apply is Vocaro or ChatterPix again. Vocaro is online recording, which is free and easy to use, and you can save it easily in different way. You can save it through QR code, send an email, or even you can save it as PDF. So there are different ways to save the Vocaro. It's very convenient and free to use to have the interview. The next one can be letter to character. So students can use newspaper clipping generator and practice writing, speaking, and reading comprehension at the same time. Students really like to create brochure through Canva after, as post reading, we can call it. As a post reading, the students can create different brochures in small groups. They can create the brochure and email each other, and they can edit it themselves so easily. So it's very easy for online setting. Book trailer, both young learners and also adult language learners like to apply different media production tools such as iMovie, even VoiceThread to create book trailer. Yes, I hope you like this presentation and apply these web-based tools not only in Literature Circle, in any other different ways or content area classroom. Thank you for listening and your participation. I provided my two different email address. If you need any help or if you have any question, please send me an email. I would be glad to help. Thank you.